you know, we don't know if the market's going to bottom here because there's a real fundamental problem.
Well, there we are, below
8,000
right now.
It a little bit different. You know, it makes it a little bit different this time because the banking system is hurting.
And I just want to throw out one thing. This is a Friday, and to say that the market is cautious going into weekend would be an extreme understatement. But the other thing is that Monday is Columbus Day, and while the stock markets are open, the bond market is not on Monday, and so. That's why some folks are not saying that today may be the day for the bottom, because I think that you're going to be a lot of folks are saying no one wants to go long into the weekend, this particular weekend.
Especially when you see numbers like that right out of the gate, just 7 minutes into trading, and we're looking at it below 8,000. All right, Allie, Christine, Susan, we do appreciate your insight. In fact, we're going to stay with you as we look at these numbers because, Allie, as you mentioned earlier, they were talking somewhere around 8,000 for that to be the beginning of the bottom. And as I mentioned, boy, what, a minute or so ago, we already reached that mark and we're below it now.
Yeah, this is, I mean, we're now closing in. Susan said the next support level tends to be 7,400. We are now 7 and a few minutes into trading. We're down 700 points. Remember that the biggest point drop we've had so far is 777 points. That was not this past Monday, but the one before that. On a percentage level, though, I want to tell you that we're looking at a loss on the market today of 7.3% on the Dow and the S&P 500. This is, of course, what is concerning most of our viewers because that's their retirement money that's in there. So we are all now very interested in what that bottom may be. And Christine's point is that there's no science to this. We don't actually know. I should also introduce the discussion that there are mechanisms to stop trading if it were to drop more than 1,100 points at some point in the day. It would stop trading just to sort of slow the thing down. And then, of course, there are bigger triggers. There are collars at bigger points. But just look next to the 547. The good news, by the way, is that now we're pulling back those losses. We haven't continued to go down further and further, but looks next to it where it says volume and it says underneath that UVol and DVol. The volume is the trading volume. That's the number of shares that's been traded today. We probably will end up with over 2 billion shares traded today, so we're at about 189 million. But if you look at that, 176 million of the 190 million are being traded on the downside. That means traded at a lower price than the last trade. Only 11 million have been bought at a higher price than the previous trade. So that just keeps on giving you an indication that people are selling out of this market. But look at that number. It didn't go down to 7. It's starting to pull back. That at least gives you an indication that there are still people in this market interested in buying some stock.